Plano. This festive holiday 5K helps champion arthritis research. Jingle all the way to jbr.org and sign up today.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to One Life Radio. This is Bernadette with Diamond Gray, Von Eaglin. I've got Aviana in studio with me and Dr. Dan Engle on the line. If you're just now joining us, Dr. Dan Engle is a medical doctor and a practicing psychiatrist, board certified in psychiatry and neurology. His current practice combines functional medicine with integrative psychiatry to enhance the foundations of regenerative health and peak performance training. Dr. Engle is the author of the book, The Concussion Repair Manual, a practical guide to recovering from traumatic brain injuries. You can find him at drdanengle.com. That's DRDANENGLE. Kind of like angel, except angel or Engle. .com, right? I'm so excited to have you on the air. I really am. I'm so jacked up today.
Well, it's actually what it means in German, so you're pretty accurate.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Was ist los? Okay. All right. So right before the break, we were talking about the use of recreational ketamine and some of the issues you might have with it pertaining to the bladder. But this is very popular recreational use of ketamine at universities, isn't it? Isn't it? It has a term called the K-hole?
Yeah. Yeah, many people have their first experience in ketamine use in a recreational setting, and it does drop you into what feels like a K-hole. If you use a lot, it has this sensation of falling. Even if you're just lying down, you can still get this kind of weightlessness feeling. And as it relates to psychedelics, too, most people have their first entry into the psychedelic arena through recreational experiences. Most people in today's age will experience and experiment with psychedelics. So it's one of the reasons I think to have just an above-board conversation about it so that people can understand
Absolutely.
right use and right practices and how to do it safely.
Well, it's a dissociative drug, am I right?
Ketamine is, yes.
Ketamine is, right. And don't you think that we as humans, we crave that to some degree, just naturally?
I think we crave both the transcendence and what I think is kind of like a more upper world experience, as well as dissociation and more of a lower world experience. We have an innate desire to be curious seekers and novelty seekers, and many other mammals are too. It's not just humans. And if we're suppressing that natural instinct to explore, then it will come out in other distorted ways. Mm-hmm. And we start to put our own biases onto other people, saying that their exploration is wrong or unjustified, et cetera. And it becomes this like taboo topic of conversation, just like sexuality does. Mm-hmm. And if we know that people are going to explore with psychedelics and explore sexually as well, then particularly with our youth, we should have above-board conversations with them to help them understand what are the right practices in the right areas in the setting to experiment. I work with a lot of clients who have had horrible experiences using recreational psychedelics and have had trauma as a result. And that's the last thing we want to do, is to create a traumatic experience. When held in a good setting, most of these medicines that we're speaking about are extraordinarily beneficial. Mm-hmm. That's one reason that MDMA is going into phase 3 trials for PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder. MDMA is the chief component in ecstasy, which is another rave drug, kind of like ketamine. Mm-hmm. When you use it therapeutically, it has massive benefit.
Yeah, I remember doing that in the 80s. Like 80s one time, and I remember just being really scared.
Right, yeah. If you're doing
very
it
vulnerable, yeah.
It creates this altered state. You do get very vulnerable. And if people don't know how to handle that themselves or work with people in their environment that can help support them through it, then it creates trauma. And again, that's the last thing we want to do. Actually, ketamine is very good for trauma, and that's one of the reasons that we use it in our clinic. We see a lot of veterans that come back from war, and they have this triad of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, treatment-resistant depression, and chronic pain.
Yeah. Well, and they're constantly on when they're at war, when they're, out in the field. And we talked about this ketamine being a dissociative drug. We naturally would get that in nature. Animals go into hibernation, and I think that we crave that as well. It's kind of all related, don't you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a natural reset. Sleep is a mini hibernation, and it's part of the reason that people, when they don't get good sleep, they have a higher experience of depression.
Yeah.
Because the ego doesn't have as much ability to rest and reset.
Nice.
And the hormones reset and the immune system itself resets. Yeah, that's a built-in safety mechanism.
Yeah, I could talk about this stuff for hours. I really could. I find it so fascinating. I do. And of course, you're one of the best people on the planet to talk with us about. You're so experienced in this field. And so let me ask you this. Are there any risks or concerns with ketamine therapy?
Well, as it is with all psychedelics, and kind of like we've been speaking about, if it's not held in the right set and setting, it can cause trauma. So that can be a psychological consideration and potential negative ramification. Physically, ketamine's pretty safe, except for that thing that we were speaking about before. If you use it at too high of a dose, too consistently over time, and too frequently, it can cause irritation in the bladder lining. Mm-hmm. So you back off of that dose. There are some other more rare kind of side effects, but generally it's the most, or one of the most safe anesthetics, and it has this way of separating the ego from like its usual driver's seat position in what's called the default mode network. It acts also on a variety of receptors, principally the glutamate receptors and the NMDA receptors, and these are receptors that are involved in cell signaling, learning, memory, and neuroplasticity. So when you get these neuroplastic changes, you have new learning and you can see things from a new perspective. You get these memories that come online, sometimes traumatic, and the ability to work through them is massaged easier. So that's all the psychological stuff. And then we work with it oftentimes in the neurologic arena because it helps with chronic pain, as well as helping to heal the brain from traumatic brain injury and concussion. It stimulates what's called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and it creates new synapse and new synaptic growth. So when people have this experience with chronic brain injury, the PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of it, and then depression and chronic pain with it, ketamine works in all four of those arenas really synergistically. And I think that's one of the reasons that it has so much potential in both the arena of psychiatry and neurology, because it works both on the mind and on the brain.
Well, do doctors prescribe this now?
There are more and more ketamine clinics popping up all the time. I think about 6-7 years ago, there were maybe a dozen clinics in the country, and now there are about 300.
Wow. Well, yeah. I think it's such an important issue, and I'm so glad we're talking about it. I personally know a couple people that are very close to me that suffer badly from depression, and I do feel it's for a lot of the reasons that we've talked about during this broadcast today. And I thank you so much, Dr. Engle. Always a pleasure, always.
Likewise, Bernadette. Always good to talk with you as well. I look forward to our next time.
All right. You have a great day. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. All right, everyone, stay tuned. We've got, I almost said Dr. Von Eaglin coming up. He's close. He's getting close. His PhD work is almost finished. We've got Von Eaglin. We're going to be talking about dealing with regret. Stay tuned, everyone. You're listening to One Life Radio.
It's funny to me how you question my ambition. My ambition gave me your ex's list that I'm kissing and we're kissing, yeah.
Did you know, when depressed, sheep hang their heads and avoid company, but if content, they socialize and wag their tails like puppies? Rams lean against stone walls so that other sheep can stand on their backs to reach high grasses. Sheep recognize each other by facial features, and when shown photographs, they can remember at least 50 other sheep and 10 human beings, even if they haven't seen them for 2 years. At Poplar Springs Sanctuary, you'll meet rescued sheep, like Fanny, who is found tied to a mailbox, and Adam, who escaped ritual sacrifice. Visitors' faces echo Anatole France's words, Until one has loved an animal, a part of one's soul remains unawakened. This is Ingrid Newkirk with Peter, reminding us that it's easy to be kind, perhaps by choosing faux fleece.
Introducing Moonlight, the latest squat to poop stool from Squatty Potty. Moonlight will light your way to the toilet on the darkest of nights. May your love of Squatty Potty burn brightly day or night with a motion and light activated night light with 3 brightness settings. Go to squattypotty.com/onelife for 15% off your entire purchase. Follow the moonlight.
Hey, this is Sean Wells of the International Society of Sports Nutrition. One Life Radio is proud to partner with the ISSN. The ISSN is the world's leading scientific organization dedicated to the science of supplements and sports nutrition. For their latest conferences and events, go to the ISSN.org. That's the ISSN.org.
Hi everyone, this is Bernadette. Do you know why I love Paleo Magazine? Paleo Magazine was founded with the purpose of providing readers with the information they need to live strong, vibrant, healthy lives. They are dedicated to partnering with leaders in the paleo community to spread the knowledge of ancestral health principles without the influence of big pharma or big agriculture. Paleo Magazine. Follow them on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram, or visit them at paleomagonline.com. That's paleomagonline.com.
Here's the dill pickle. Squatty Potty works. It's awesome. Find yours at your local Bed Bath & Beyond, Amazon, or squattypotty.com. That's squattypotty.com.
Did you know a mother rat will dip her paws into cool water and gently smooth the fur around her infants' faces? The babies put their arms around their mother's neck and pay attention while being bathed. Rats and mice fall in love, risk their lives to save their kids, and giggle when tickled. Evan Walker writes of a mouse who died of shock in a trap. His life was a life fully as real to him as ours is to us. This creature, for all the irritation it may have brought as it scampered through closed closets or up some crevice in a wall, was as precious as you or I. He was not a machine that breaks and fails. He felt. His was consciousness, full and real and fragile and precious. This is Ingrid Newkirk with Peter, reminding us that it's easy to be kind, perhaps by not using glue traps.
Welcome back to One Life Radio. This is Bernadette with Diamond Gray, Aviana Barrientos, and I have Von Eaglin in studio with me. Before we get started, I want to let everyone know that you can go to our website, oneliferadio.com, to download and listen to our podcast and subscribe to our newsletter. Or you can go to iHeartMedia.com to listen live or download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to us from anywhere in the world. A big shout out to our sponsors, great companies that help bring this content to you because they care about you like I do. So Sun Warrior, you can get it at Vitamin Shop or put it in your smoothie at Smoothie King. Sun Warrior is a premium all-natural raw superfood company dedicated to providing the best plant-based protein powders and supplements. Go to sunwarrior.com to learn more about all their products. And I have to give Vaughn a hand here because Vaughn is the one that turned me on to Sun Warrior protein powder. So
I had some this morning. It was delicious.
I did too. I actually lifted some weights. I did some squats.
Look at you, Bernadette.
Quickly, while my cookies were in the oven, I get like these bursts of energy, and I don't know what to do with myself. Like,
So
seriously.
you
made cookies.
I made cookies.
Cookies
They're so good.
And air squats.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
That's what we call those with no weight. Air squats.
Air
squats.
What,
Oh, you had some weight in your hands?
Yeah. No. I had 40 pounds.
My fault.
Yeah,
40 pounds.
I'm
but
sorry. I'm sorry. I just assumed. I made a bad assumption right there.
Can't assume.
That's okay. Can't assume anything. One of the 4 agreements. Okay. So Of course, I want to mention Squatty Potty. You can go to squattypotty.com/onelife to get 15% off your entire order. They have a couple of new stools. It's the original poop toilet stool. Sorry, not poop to toilet. But they have a really sleek one, the Curve, and then they have a moonlight one. So you don't have to turn the light on and wake yourself up in the middle of the night.
Part. Turning the light on. It's the worst part.
It is. So now, and it's activated like a sensor activated. So if you walk into the bathroom, it'll come on automatically.
Okay.
Ding.
And it's a great Christmas present. So check it out. Go to squattypotty.com. And, of course, the H-Hemp Company. Use the code OLR for 20% off your first order. I used my little breath spray, my mint breath spray.